Hello, Wellness Check Wednesdays community. We wanted to take a moment to remind you that while our podcast serves as a safe space for open discussions and sharing experiences, we are not mental health experts. This podcast is a platform for you to express your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a judgment-free zone. Our aim is to foster connection, provide support, and create a sense of community. It's crucial to acknowledge that we are not a substitute for professional mental health advice or treatment. If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health challenges, we strongly encourage seeking guidance from qualified professionals. Remember, reaching out to mental health experts can make a significant difference. If you ever feel the need, don't hesitate to connect with a licensed therapist, counselor, or healthcare professional.
This is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, a share space, a judgment-free zone, a place to meet and discuss our mental health. So let's check in.
Well. We are embarking on yet another week of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, this mental health awareness journey that we are on. We are thankful for all of our listeners out there, all of our subscribers, all those that pay attention to us, somewhat, whatever. But we are especially thankful that we are on this journey together. We encourage every Wednesday and every day that you need it always and forever too. Let's check
Check
in.
in.
You should know my voice by now. I am the moderator of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. I go by the name of Brian Livingston. I reside in the wonderful city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Especially thankful the weather's being weather, and you got some extreme weather. So prayers and thoughts go out to those affected by the weather. Has some wintry situations up north. Got some tornadoes and a lot of rain here in the south. Those that are affected by the wildfires in Carolina Forest and South Carolina, prayers and thoughts go out to them and all things in between. There's been a lot going on with the weather. And we talk about the weather a lot here because it does have a lot to do with our mental health. But yes, we strive on. We're going to take a little journey with this mental health awareness thing that we got going on. Our originators are here in the virtual flesh by way of Cleveland, Ohio. My man, Edwin Vereen.
Number one, weather in Northeast Ohio. Yesterday was rooftop temps weather yesterday. Today is rooftop weather with a dash of rain. And tomorrow, according to Alexa, is supposed to be in the mid-30s with a chance of snow.
That sounds right.
Send help. No, number two, it looks like the whole world survived the heel turn of John Cena. So, woo! Yeah.
That's been talk of the town. Sure has.
Yep.
Also, we're going to come back here by way of Fayetteville, North Carolina, the originator of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, my man, Kevin Marshall.
What can I say? 15 minutes late, but at least I'm here. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
People wouldn't have known nothing if you didn't say something. All right,
well,
cool.
I'm going to put it out there.
Honesty is the best policy, but we here now.
We here now.
We here now. We continue this journey by way of Parts Unknown, Oklahoma. My man, B3. Brad, how you doing today, sir?
Doing okay. It's a nice sunny day in Parts Unknown, and hopefully it stays this way for a while. I'm over snow.
There's supposed to be another storm coming around the corner.
God, dog.
Just say the honesty is the best policy. This is what the meteorological people say about it. So, You know, they're never wrong. Yeah, right.
You know what? Meteorologists are the only people in the history of occupational jobs that can lie and still keep their job. I lie,
Yep.
I'm getting written up, I'm getting fired. Make it make sense.
And wrestling journalists.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Right,
If we
right,
if we
right, right.
if we talking about this one dude, I don't, Mister. Well,
Hey, I'm gonna come on y'all connoisseurs of wrestling podcast because there's one dude I really want to talk about. I just saw these was it dirt sheets are out of
yeah.
control at this point in time. But I
Man,
digress a little bit. I digress because we could go a whole nother direction with this podcast. We're gonna stay on mental health.
yes.
Yes. But when it comes to sports, entertainment, all the things, the whole 9 yards, um, Edwin presented a topic that is near and dear to our heart as far as sports is concerned, but it has many different elements, has many different, like, yeah, I mean, essentially, let's just put it this way: emotions are a part of life. They're enhanced, they're multiplied when it comes to competition. It comes when it comes to business practices and behind the scenes at the job. Emotions can be are a central part of life, and when you speak about emotions, it usually comes in a negative connotation because it almost seems like people use their emotions either as a crutch and excuse for bad behavior.
Mhm.
People fly off the handle when we're angry at someone, when we don't forgive someone, emotions can be applied to so many aspects of our life. But when we speak about sports and we speak about a lot of different things, emotions can be a source of strength and can be used in a positive light depending on how you express your emotions and how you apply your emotions. So we want to use that as a topic today: emotions as a source of strength. And essentially, hey, it's okay to be emotional as long as you allow your emotions to be applied in a positive light. Like, hey, things can hurt, things can anger you, but how you apply those emotions speaks volumes. At this moment in time, I want to pass the mic over to Edwin as he has does what he does and opines a little bit further on our topic of discussion for today. Edwin, the floor is yours.
Be Live, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Our original topic, I think we were going to revisit social media and the effect it has on your mental health. We want to revisit it. But I went to the gym last Saturday, and sometimes I need some background noise or something on to get through my workout. Actually, I was on the bike. I was on the on the pedal bike. And one of my favorite YouTube channels is Flimlo Raps. He tells a lot of sports stories, and as of late, he's taken the route of using sports to draw you in, and then he opines on the topic furthermore, which I think is a very good, I don't want to call it a tactic, but it's a very good hook, if you will, because as us being sports fans, we see things in sports. They also correlate to life as well too. And he recently put out a video entitled Three Sports Stories that prove emotion is a source of strength. He talked about three noticeable cases. One was T.Y. Hilton after the birth of his daughter. He had a big game and scored a touchdown. He got, a little emotional at the post game interview, which is expected. But on the other side, there's the story of Marquise. Is it Goodwin, right? Is Marquise good? Yeah, Marquise
Yes.
Goodwin. Him and his wife, they lost their child. And what did he do? He found his way to the end zone, scored a touchdown, and he openly broke down on the field. And as another display of emotion. And he just openly wept, like, hey, this is what happened to me. I can't hide it. And, when T.Y. conducted his interview, he told him why, and when Marquise conducted the interview, told him why too. Then the story of John Wall, who got close to one of the kids in D.C., and they had an illness, and the kid was trying to fight through it, but unfortunately, the illness took the child's life, and it hit John in a hard way. But John went out there and he had a big game as well too, and he really broke down during the press game conference as well too. So that just leads me to believe that some people look at us being black men, us being black men, we're always told to put on a mask, to be strong, to do this and to do that, to do this and to do that. But a lot of times, if you know as well as I do, it really eats at us trying to put on that face and take the high road and be strong and shed no tears and all that. Is people think that's a good thing, but it does more harm than it does good. So I just had the chance to look on ScienceDirect.com and look at a specific passage about emotional strength. It is entitled Emotional Strength, a response type, a response disposition, and organizing principle for emotion experience. So one thing I'm going to read on this one here is, if I can find it, emotional strength. All right. The term emotional strength refers primarily to a way of responding to a current emotion. Emotional strength is the ability to respond in an open and vulnerable way in the face of intense emotional experience, feeling one's way deeper into the emotion, which allows access to the functional process. All right, so real quick story about your boy here. I'm like, out of those stories, how can I forget my own story? It was back in September 7th, 2000. It was the fifth anniversary of the passing of my father, which later this year in 2025 will be the 30th year. So yeah, look at that age, look at that ride range. How I felt that day, it was there in my mind. But, as we had a football game that night at home, our second game of the season, we played Georgetown. As I was going to the trainer, because I got everything taped up, wrist, ankles, everything. If it need to be taped, it was taped up. So I kind of said to myself, like, it'd be pretty cool if I do something tonight. And I just said that to myself, kind of just say to myself and do warm ups and went in the locker, kind of just zoned out and kind of just, I put my t-shirt over my face and put my earphones on and kind of just zoned out. So I think the score was 14-0. I think it might have been the middle of the second quarter. The Georgetown quarterback drops back to pass, and I remember my my defensive end and my linebacker, I think it was Wirt and I think it was Timmy Vereen. They both jumped up and tipped the pass. Next thing you know, the ball comes falling into my hands. I hear this voice go, and I start running, all the way to the point. 40 yards later, your boy found pay dirt and scored the first touchdown of the game. But needless to say, we got mollywopped by the Georgetown Bulldogs. And I remember becoming so filled with emotion, I was on the sideline crying, and no one knew why. And no one really asked me why. And I didn't expect it that time. It was just, you got to get back out there and get on kick and get on special teams. I'm like, all right. So it was ugly cry too. So that's just an example of, this is one of those times where I don't need an article. I can give you an actual story. This is one of those times where early in my life as a teenager, I was able to take that sadness and that moment and turn it into a moment of emotional strength and use it instead of just wallowing and being sad, like, oh my God, my daddy passed away, and oh my daddy, da, 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 da. It's taught me how to, hey man, take this and use it as inspiration, as if they were here. Just like there's countless times, I'm pretty sure I heard you all say it. Hey man, I wish my mom could see what I'm doing now. And you know the conventional answer is because some people just don't know how to answer, or they just see how people answer it and answer to the best of their ability. Well, you know, she's watching. I'm like, as the kids say, it don't hit the same. You know, it don't hit the same. So there was, matter of fact, my mom's birthday was this past week, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was a day, and you know, I told you guys about it, and you know, shout out to, you know, JR called me first thing. He's like, hey man, you all right? I was like, hanging in there. And so, you know, me and him kind of, you know, we kind of talked about it, shared memories and everything. And so I used that moment, that Thursday to go about my day. But what would my mom, you know, what would I do? You know, okay, just use this and knock out your projects at work and do the best you can to run the camera at church. And at the end of the day, you know, you taking how you felt and made it a source of inspiration. You made it motivation instead of just wallowing in it. And I also say that therapy helps as well too, because I'll tell anybody, your boy cries. You know, look like I got a tough outside, but I got a soft inside. I'm a human. I'm a man. If I'm upset, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna shed a tear. You know, if I miss my mom, you know, because I'll. How many times have I randomly text you guys like, man, I miss my mama, miss my daddy, my parents, just randomly, you know. And think about it, you know, I don't do that as for a pity party for people to feel bad about me. It's just, hey man, it feels better getting it out
All right.
instead of holding it all in. Because I used to hold it all in, and to a point, you know, I became real angry. Then I realized, you know, holding this all in, man, it's not really good for your health. So of the four stories I told you about, John Wall, Marquise Goodwin, and T.Y. Hilton, and then my own story, that's just a brief microcosm about how you can take something traumatic and something emotional and use it as a strength and a tool of motivation. Kev, I'm gonna start with you, man. What say you, man? How you feel about emotional strength and using it to make you better
I've
and make you
come
motivate moving forward?
I've come to learn that, you know, if this damn geese don't shut up, okay, I'm back.
Mm,
Uh I've come to learn that, you know, everything is a fuel to a fire. How do
yeah.
you use that fire is what determines like how to use or how to obtain what fuel as you get older. Like
Mm,
one thing about me is that, you know, I always like a good challenge. Somebody who says I can't, watch this. Somebody who says you won't, watch this. And it comes into a point that, you know, it's almost like how they celebrate death and life after in New Orleans and in certain parts of the world that, you know, it's not always a sad sorrow part, but, you know, you're living for other people through you, in a
mm,
sense, if that makes any type of relevancy. But it's like you don't want to be sad and pity how you were just describing it and wondering and you're asking yourself those questions of what if.
mm,
But instead, why don't you change it to what can I do? Well, what if I did this? Because you're a product of that offspring, you're a product of whose ever life you came from, that, you know, you should strive to live that. I knew his folks.
mm.
Damn, that's a really good guy, or damn, that's a really good lady, or whatever the case is. Excuse my French on that. But everything's a puzzle piece and everything's a fuel to a certain fire. But, you know, life is never perfect. Life is always lifing. So it comes down to one of those things that, you know, you just have to sometimes slow down and fit the right puzzle pieces in the where they go.
Mm. I like how you phrase that, Kev. Say that line again about the fuel to the fire. Like everything in life is a fuel to the fire, and it's up to you how you use the fire. Can you repeat that again?
Everything is a fuel to a certain fire,
Mm.
but it's up to you on how you want to use that fuel to fire or to produce this fire.
Yeah,
Write
yeah,
that down.
yeah. I'm write that down. Hey, look. I feel like Chad. I feel like Ocho Nightcap. Hold on. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. I use that in my next argument.
Yeah, because, and for example, you know, I used to get mad at people cracking jokes on me. I used to get mad, but and I got rambunctious. But then as I got older and into my late 20s, it became one of those things. I'm gonna use that fuel to this fire that they're trying to erupt and show them I'm in control of my fire. I'm in control of what you're trying to cause.
Mhm. I'm still gonna pick on you because it's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny to me, and that is how I show my appreciation.
Yeah.
People that know me, I got jokes for days,
Oh, he'll get you.
And
and
see,
I'm just gonna be
yeah.
me.
But
But
see, that's also one of those things. That's fuel for your admiration to show people.
I look at it this way. I hope and I pray. I know there's times I go too far and people let me know, and I'm like, you know what, my bad. I'm doing too much. But that's also my way of not only showing appreciation, but also we just gotta laugh at certain things.
Absolutely.
But some certain things that we can't even help. This is let's just laugh about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That five head that Ed's got on the screen right now.
Ooh, woo! I know little Bill ain't talking.
Yeah, I know little Bill ain't talking over here. See, this done went from the Wellness Check Wednesday podcast to somebody getting Nate roasted podcast, little Bill.
I came from nowhere with that knob, man. You know me, man.
straight pop.
Straight
Yeah,
roast.
that's what happened.
Man, that again, Edwin should know.
Milk dud head. I ain't done. Nah, man, go ahead though. Go ahead.
Laughter is, and of course, like I said, y'all know, and first of all, I laugh everything off, even down to I probably laugh too much. I know, like because
And too loud microphone.
it happens. Say, shoot, my bad, and I'll edit it later. Probably won't, but anyway, I'm in your ear with this, but that's always been sort of my thing, is that taking what life gives us, and life be lifing, and that's my way of taking my emotions and using it for a tool of strength. It ain't nothing if it ain't nothing else but taking something that could have been used as a negative connotation. I use humor a lot to ease the tension in a room. Sometimes with these things, some where life is getting too serious, like yo, let's take it back. You know what? I ain't been on a treadmill in ever, and now I'm looking at my belly, and then my belly done lapped over my belt,
Go
and
on them
so
Dunlaps.
you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like I could pick on myself better than anybody else can. Let's go ahead and throw that out there. But I've always applied humor, and so sometimes when my emotions get the best of me, and someone may say that, oh, you're just burying what you're going through, you're denying what you're going through. That's not necessarily true. I've come to a realization more than anything is that I'm not going to let negativity bring me down.
Mm.
I'm gonna turn whatever negative that this world tries to throw at me, and I'm gonna spin it towards a positive, whichever it may be. I don't care if people are laughing with me or laughing at me. I don't care. They're laughing, and for that split second, life isn't that bad.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a forehead myself, and on top of that, I ain't had an edge up in God knows how long. I'm just over here zigzagging it
Ooh-wee.
and whatnot. But it is what it is. Like I say, I know me. I know what I look at in the mirror. But one thing that I know I can do, and what I try to do every single day, is whenever somebody tries to bring negativity, I just spin it. Hey, it ain't that serious. And I mean, if at the end of the day, I'm just gonna be a goofball regardless. I might look at you funny, but besides that, that's my spin on life. B3, Brad, emotions as a source of strength. How does this apply, and how does this help you, my friend?
Well, emotions as a source of strength. I try not to get too emotional about things. I try not to because I know those won't steer me in the correct direction because I'd rather use logic than emotion to kind of get me through things. But for the most part, if emotions do need to drive me somewhere, I mean, it'll push me to do better. It'll push me to make sure I get whatever it is done. But I'm kind of more of a logic directive person versus an emotional direction kind of person. That's just kind of how I've been for the last, I'd say like last 10 years. Because I used to be all on my feels. It's like, oh, feels. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Let's shift this to the other mind. Let's shift it to logic mind. And it's it's kind of helped out.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And especially with a topic of this nature, is that knowing how to treat your emotions,
Mhm.
and that is a source of strength within itself. Because you're not only you're meant like, hey, flying off the handle and doing nobody no good. So let me stop and think about everything that's going on. I spend a lot of time doing that in the certain environments that I'm in, especially when I'm as a karaoke DJ working a lot of nights, working around a lot of drunk people.
Well,
I can't go off of emotion for a lot of
Mhm.
things. Because I mean, especially when alcohol starts to get involved, people like to get spicy. The mouth starts to say stuff that their brain ain't really calculated or formulated. And I'm over here like, all right, let that slide. You doing the most.
and
Now,
logic goes clean out the window.
and so that's what, and I see it
Mhm.
so many times, and I'm like, so one of my famous sayings, one of the things I live by is cooler heads will prevail.
Mhm.
And so I'm B3 Brad. I'm with you on that. There's a lot of times where I emotions. Oh no! Please don't let my emotions take over the situation. Because if the emotions take over, I might jack somebody up. But
Yeah.
that ain't gonna help nobody out.
Mhm.
So
Nope.
I have to use logic in a lot of situations. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Since we're sharing stories, I'm gonna send this video to you, be live, and I want you to clip it because I want it to be known. So, one of my jobs is in a restaurant, of course, as you know, one of my 511 jobs. They call me Jamaican Eddie. No, I'm joking. One of my 511 jobs. I work in a restaurant. One of the requirements as your side work requires you to say if you work in the bar area or the patio area, you got to roll silverware, right? So it was during the summer. I was one of three people working in the bar, and there was one person on the patio. So when I go to work, I only give a damn about what I do. I ain't got time to be worrying about nobody. It's not no, not trying to be an a-hole or nothing, but it is what it is. I gotta look out for me. I gotta make sure I'm good. But if somebody needs help, I'll give them help. So the one particular coworker went to the shift leader and said, "Hey, I rolled my silverware. I don't know about the other two guys. I don't think they did their silverware, but I rolled my silverware." And so the funny thing about it was the shift leader, who I'm very, very close with, came right back and told me what this coworker said. Now, and he told her, he said, yeah, you could have, I could have done without all the extras, but thank you for, rolling up your silverware. It just leads me to believe and be like, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to put the E on this. Um, Leads me to believe that a shitty person now was a shitty person then, and they're going to be a shitty person forever. Because what did you benefit out of burying me and throwing me under the bus over some freaking silverware? Like, what's the actual point of that? And so, she was trying to talk to me throughout the course. And I was kind of shot her a dirty look, but I told myself, hey, look, at this point in your life, at 42 years old, um, you know what you're trying to do. You know where you're trying to go. Getting into a verbal spat or getting her told, what good is that going to do you? I told myself none whatsoever. The old me, I want to set it off, set it O, so the AWOFF off. I would have said it clean off. But the refined, the the Honorable Eddie, the intergalactic soul himself. I just like, man, it's not even
Not
shout out
worth it.
Dar- shout out Darius Lockhart. I say it's not worth it. So I just use that moment to continue on the journey where I am now, to where I went from having just 2 jobs. Then now I got 3 jobs. I got 2 I like, and I got one that kind of pay the bills because I need my bills to that. So I just use that as information. Is just like people in the workplace, they gonna try you. Management gonna get on your nerves, but you gotta ask yourself at the end of the day, hey, defend yourself, but don't be too emotional, because they'll be like, you out of sights and everything. And sometimes management will gaslight you, because I've had it done to me and seen them do it to other people. But yeah, it's all about having that control. You got to have that control. And so to tell that story, I was like, you know what I said, honey, if you want to be a shitty person, then now forever, hey, you go ahead, boo, do you? I'm going over here. Going over here.
Well, in that situation, particular situation, you took your emotions. Not only did you make a logical decision that, and as opposed to escalate, you de-escalated and you said, "Hey, it's not worth it." Then on top of that, you use your emotion like, "Hey, I need to work on something else besides doing this because I ain't trying to do this with all these the youngins.
Yeah.
I'm the because that's a young lazy game right there. That's a selfish game. And like, hey, and so the, that is using emotions as a source of strength, but where you reapplied yourself to your craft. And you're
Yeah.
like, all right, hey, this is I'm gonna get there one day where I'm not gonna need this job anymore.
Yeah.
And that you can that's a motivation right there within itself. When you wake up each day, be like, hey, I ain't trying to do this anymore.
But
No.
also the thing comes into play too with motivation to where, I don't need this job. If you find motivation to find the right job, a job's never truly a job, because a
True.
job will come into something that you love, and something that you love will become fun. Because then now you're trying to find different aspects. How is this entertaining to me? Like, I've done landscaping all my life, and it's entertaining to me because you'll have those customers that want this done, want that done. And then you kind of step back. This is my motivation why I do this, because now I get to freak this in the way I want it to get done. And I get to freak this in the way that I know I can leave my footprint on this, and people be like, damn.
Yeah.
I bet your landscaping job was entertaining today. Them 40-mile-per-hour winds.
Fuck you. I ain't get out of bed
Look
till
at your mouth.
Damn.
God, you just
Be like,
oh
you just triggered him. You just triggered him. And
God.
he pop one off. You triggered him. At least I gave you a warning. All right.
Right.
At least when you edit it, you get close to my timestamp. We'll put this here, put that there. All right, we're good to go. Hey, look, if you want me to teach you how to make that dump button be live, I can do it.
I'm gonna dump him on top of his head.
Hold
Extra
on,
work.
man. This is a lot of bucket right here. You got to
You as long as you understand it.
He said bucket.
Man. But yeah, at the end of the day, of course, like we all strive to where our job isn't actually a job. We strive towards that. And that's and Eddie was using a particular instance that applies to the emotional side of things. There's a lot of there's a lot of times that I would want to use my emotions and I would want to tell somebody clean, smooth, off.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
He's done it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
He done
Now,
it.
every now and again, I have to pop out and show niggas.
I'm not gonna,
Like
I'm not gonna lie.
every now and again.
Okay, let me get this story, B. You might have been too drunk to remember, but I remember this story very specifically. We went down to Izzy's one night. So one of our mutual friends comes in talking about this dude's out there hitting his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't too drunk for that.
Hey, look, B went out there, and then I go out there. Then we grab this joker out the car. Oh, who hit me? You're a young black man. Why? Look, when I tell y'all, he told him clean, smooth off. Clean smooth off.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, that wasn't even emotion. That was like it was
Fuel to the fire.
like I was whew. Now yeah, there was a little bit of emotion behind it because it disturbed me on top of that. But it was protector mode at that moment in time. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
One thing I'll never stand for, and it will never happen in front of me ever, is domestic violence. Y'all can take y'all whatever y'all do behind closed doors is what y'all do
Absolutely.
behind closed doors, but you won't do it in front of me
Yeah.
ever. Shoot. So I mean my emotions sometimes get the best out of me because there was one time where I stepped in, it wasn't happening, and got a gun pulled on me. And I was like, hey, I told him straight up, like, you don't have
Hold
to,
on, guys.
but you don't have to use that.
We have a special guest that wants to chime in.
A
How
special
can
guest.
emotional support be a strength?
Damn, that's a good one. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Des?
What's up, man?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How can emotional support be a strength? All right, so that's crazy. It's a crazy topic for the day that me and a few people around me have been through today. So life sucks sometimes, you know, and that's just me putting it in layman's terms. Life sucks sometimes.
That's not emotional support. You're saying
Somebody coming behind you to help you out with whatever you're going through can put what I call put a battery in your pack, you know? Like you could be going through the worst shit ever. And it just takes that one person that comes behind you. They could do the smallest thing. They could give you a hug. They could tell you they love you. They could smoke a blunt with you, buy you a shot, do whatever, you know? But as long as you know that that person there gives a fuck about you, that'll take all that negative energy you had and turn that into a little bit of positivity to where you might be able to get through the rest of your day. You know, like a lot of people don't understand that. So I had this thing I did about 4 years ago. I called it the Hug Your Fellow Black Man Project, right?
Okay.
Kev, you remember that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. No? Any goddamn way. So basically, I'm gonna cut the story. I'm gonna make the story short. So I went to the gas station to get a case of beer before I went to a house party with my homeboys, right? And as soon as I opened the door, there was two black dudes. They was from Florida. They looked at me. They both had face tattoos. They had gold teeth. I had gold teeth at the time. And we both reached for the door handle at the same time. And bruh got mad as hell and just started tweaking on me. And I was like, nigga, do you know me? Do we have any kind of beef? Why the fuck is you looking at me like that? Fix your goddamn face. And he's like, damn, bro, no. So I just reached out and I hugged the nigga. That's it. I just reached out and I hugged him. Deadass, I hugged him. And his boy was in the car. He had a gun pointed at me. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. If I got to go out like this, I'm going to go out like this. But I'm just trying to show love to my fellow black man because this world does not love us the way they should. And it's not just black men, it's men in general, you know? The Hug Your Fellow Man Project is about seeing anybody that's around you that might be going through something because you have no idea what the next man is going through day to day. And if you see somebody, man, and they got their head down or they just look like they're going through some shit, just be like, yo, you good, man? Can I give you a hug? Because you have no idea what that might help them go through. Like, they might be on the way to hurt themselves, beat somebody up, whatever, and that might change their entire mental.
Right.
And a lot of people have no idea, like you said, like what having just a little bit of emotional support can do. And sometimes a lot of people, especially men, we can't ask for emotional support because as men, we're treated like we are not allowed to ask for emotional support.
Yep.
And that's not being soft or none of that other weird shit that people try to say all the time. Sometimes, man, shit, niggas need a goddamn hug.
Yeah.
A couple kind words, anything. Yeah. Something to just help your fellow man out. You know, your fellow female too, whatever. It's a simple thing. And I feel like a lot of people make emotional support a lot more complicated than it should be. Because it's really not that fucking deep. Just be nice, man. You see somebody having a bad fucking day, don't ask them no dumbass questions. Don't be an asshole to them. Just show them some love.
My go-to line is, hey, if you need anything, let me know. I used to get like, oh man, that's such a cop out. I'm like, no. Some people want someone to ask them this is going on. Some people don't want to be bothered. So me, when I say that, like, okay, hey, I know you're going through this, that, and the third. I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. If you need anything, let me know. It seems kind of vague because putting the shoe on the other foot. I remember how I felt, in a way smothered. What I don't want to do is smother nobody else. But hey, if you need anything else, you let me know.
And it's all in how it's received, because it's two different ways that it could be approached. You can approach it as, hey, somebody's looking out for me, and but like putting the ball in someone else's court. Like, you're not asking a whole bunch of questions.
Yep.
And like, because some people can just be nosy, and that right there can set. If you want to see me emotional, that's what you do.
Be like, you just see me blank off somebody because they doing too goddamn much.
Right. That's
but
what I'm saying.
So check. That's the other half of that project, right? The other half of that project it's not just about loving somebody, it's about respect for them and their feelings, their mental, There are some people that they don't want no fucking hug. They don't want nobody to touch them.
Right.
So if I approach somebody and I'm like, hey man, you look like you're going through something, can I give you a hug? And they're like, nah, nigga, I'm good. I was like, well, can I shake your hand? Nah. All right, well, cool, brother. I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna pray for you.
And so that's a beautiful approach. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how we approach the situation; it's how it's received by the other person that's going.
Exactly my point. That's it right there. It's how it's received by the other person.
So I trust and believe. There's been a lot of situations where I want to help somebody, and I want to do it in my own eyes, and that, man, let me reach out to you, let me do this, and then realize that person ain't trying to hear nothing I got to say.
And man, sometimes you just can't,
Yeah,
sometimes you just can't.
But the one thing we can do at least is be there.
You can try to be there, You can try to be there. At least you can say you tried. At least you can say you tried, man.
Nice.
That's it.
That's been the premise of what we've been talking about today, as far as using our emotions as strength.
Oh, it was fine.
Knowing in certain situations, hey,
put this down there.
Put this down.
Emotions can be dangerous.
I gotta take my cracker ass home.
Emotions can be dangerous, but they also can be again, it can be dangerous, or it can be a strength all in within itself or whatnot. But yeah, I wanted to get that opportunity. Dev, I thank you for letting us know about that project, because that's something that we can expand on. And essentially is each person that we reach, each person that we encounter with from time to time, we absolutely can take that project and expand on it. And so, Dev, I greatly appreciate that. And what we're going to do at this moment of time, we have covered emotions and making it into our strength. I thank all of the fellows for joining us on today. It's another Wednesday on this mental health journey that we have been on. And we continue each and every week, each and every Wednesday, anytime that you need it. We always encourage all of our listeners, all of our subscribers, all those out there, always and forever, too.
Hey, and I appreciate y'all welcoming me back on this episode, man. It's been a little minute since I chimed in.
Yes, sir.
Let's check in.
And we're out.
We out.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. Please join us every week, Wednesdays on Zoom at 6 p.m., and join our Facebook group for updates and to participate. We care about your mental health, so let's check in.